at various levels. Now, what will this think tank do? When I met with a particular think tank of a country, the country is between Asia and Europe. I won't mention the name, you can guess. It's easy. In fact, within the country, there is Asia, there is Europe, within the country itself. So now, when we met with the think tank, and this think tank actually, it's a team that they don't do any other thing. They go to this office from morning till evening. They don't do any other thing, but they think for the government. This Bosporus and the third bridge they are creating, I mentioned Bosporus, okay. The third bridge they are creating, and I led the team, and we discussed some of these projects, and we came up with a report based on experiences from different Muslim countries. And it was really amazing. You know, what amazed me was not that they have a think tank team. It's the way they work. It's a full-time job, and these are top experts in different fields: economics, finance, engineering, and all this. A small team working together to think for the government. You need to have that brain. No politics here. Whether it's a PDP or APC or what have you, you need this to think for the government at all levels, at the federal government and at the state level. This is something very important. So when we talk about maximizing opportunities, to finance our infrastructure projects, how do you know how to prioritize all these projects? And how do you know the most impactful project? Politics should not come in here, but we have to rely on experts to tell us what to do. So this is something very important. Beyond just having technical advisors advising governments, we should have this think tank actually advising the government remotely. And this think tank team, they are not even seen. People don't know them. It's a small team and they work against it. So I think it's important for us to explore this option. Now, there is a need for collaborative efforts among the non-interest banks. This is something I feel is important. I mentioned this earlier, and I'm repeating this as a recommendation of today's talk. The non-interest banks in the country should work together, not just as an association. They should work together to do deals, big deals, in the interest of the country. And to do this, the non-interest banks, the Islamic banks, will be able to tap into the resources they have globally and locally, and they will use those resources to fund some of our projects they have around. It's very important to consider this recommendation. So we should just look beyond Sukuk. Sukuk is important. Corporate Sukuk is good, but let's look beyond this to facilitate the development of the projects you have in the country. Now, finally, ladies and gentlemen, I guess I don't need to add to this last point. As we know, it's the main reason for our infrastructure deficit today: corruption. Nigeria has to be sincere in its fight against corruption. We must all imbibe the culture of selflessness and commitment to a common national goal. And I'm not just talking about government this time around. You'll be surprised I mentioned corruption, but I said I'm not just talking about government, but the common man on the street. The common man must also drop all corrupt tendencies. From my little experience here in the country, corruption at the grassroots level fuels corruption at the top echelon of the government itself. So this is something we should do. For instance, I'm sorry to say this, you have a situation where somebody is appointed a minister amongst us, and let's say we are all from the same family. We will expect a lot of things from the minister, right? Definitely. If he comes to the market and will 20,000 naira, what will you say? You say, come on, you're a minister, you're the minister of finance. You give not just 20,000 bucks. We are the one encouraging corruption sometimes, so we should actually try to look into this. So for me, it goes beyond just the government. We should also look at corruption at all levels. And international organizations have very strict policies, like mine. I won't share my experience publicly. I've had a lot of experience in this country, relating to this kind of thing, trying to facilitate funding for my country to have infrastructure projects. But unfortunately, some of the signs I saw actually pushed me back immediately. Yeah, so I think it's something we should look into as a country. Countries such as the United States, as we all know, they have very strict, even the UK as well, have very strict legislation in foreign corrupt practices. And this was actually due to the prevalence of such practices in developing countries. said that, permit me to tell you about what Islamic law says. Now we're talking about Islamic finance. We raise funds for Islamic finance, whether through whether syndicated financing or even through crowdfunding. How well are you managing those funds? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in Quran 4 verse 29. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تأكلوا أموالكم بينكم بالباطل إلا أن تكون تجارة عن تراض منكم ولا تقتلوا أنفسكم إن الله كان بكم رحيما. O you who believe, do not eat up a plot amongst yourselves, بالباطل, in falsehood, in vanity, إلا أن تكون تجارة عن تراض منكم, except that you enter into commercial transaction, trade, do business. And that should be based on what? Mutual kind of, satisfaction, mutual agreement. Now that's it. How come Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was talking about, tijara, talking about trade, and suddenly don't kill yourself. Allah can make a rahima. Because Allah has been oft, merciful to you. So you can see the connection. Allah is talking about this, and suddenly corruption kills. It kills. And that's why we're suffering. People are dying. When you have COVID-19 in this country, just as other nations across the world, you have kind of moribund health facilities. Then what do you expect? People die without having health facilities, treatment. So it's very important for us to invite this kind of guidance from our Creator. And I think it's very important, and that will actually guide us, because even the Islamic bodies, including the IDB, the Islamic Development Bank, as well as my institutions, we are not going to be funded, because one thing we always look into is the use of funds. If we have to give funding to any country across the world, one major clause in the documentation is what do you want to use the funds for, and you've got to give all the details. And sometimes we track some of this funding, and sometimes we have to blacklist some nations. So I think it's very important for us to consider some of these points, so that in tapping some of the international opportunities as a nation, we have to bear in mind that certain things have to be, addressed properly. And once corruption is tackled head-on, economic development will follow naturally through a plethora of foreign direct investments and international funding grants. Having said this, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I hope I have been able to address some of your concerns, and I would like to pause here in order to give you an opportunity to interact. And I think that's the essence of today's meeting. It's an interactive session, and I'll be really happy to get your comments, and let's collectively explore how we can help nations as much as possible. And I would like to suggest that we restrict all our